Hi there, Charger people. This is Mrs. Boyd. Today we're going to discuss rhombi and squares. Squares. Let's talk about first, what is a rhombus? Rhombi is the plural of rhombus. So a rhombus is a parallelogram with four congruent sides plus these two extra tidbits. The diagonals are perpendicular. So if we draw, oh lordy, that was awful. These lines, they make a 90-degree angle. Number two, each diagonal, oh, that's not an A, bisects a pair of opposite angles. And we'll talk about what that means on this problem below. So we have this rhombus, ABCD. We want to find the values. We know the measure of angle ABD is 42. And we want to find DAB. So ABD, this angle right here is 42. We want to find DAB. So let's look at this rhombus. The diagonals make isosceles triangles. So if we know ABD is 42, we also know BDA is 42. We also know that the three angles inside of a triangle add up to 180. So we can say that 2 times the measure of angle ABD plus the measure of angle DAB will give us 180. We'll substitute in here what we know. 2 times 42 plus the measure of angle DAB gives us 180. Well, 2 times 42 is 84 plus the measure of angle DAB still equals 180. We subtract that 84 from both sides. We get the measure of angle DAB is 96. That makes sense, I think, I hope, question mark, fingers crossed. Now, about side lengths. If AE is 9 and AB is 15, find DB. Well, we know that, or I'm going to tell you right now that AE squared plus EB squared equals AB squared. This is where we have to draw way back into our knowledge of the Pythagorean theorem. This only works on right triangles, which we just happen to have because angle E is right, and no matter which way we look at it. So just to remind you, Pythagorean theorem says that A squared plus B squared equals C squared. A and B are the legs of a triangle, and C is the hypotenuse, which is directly across from the right angle. So we have AE squared plus EB squared equals AD squared. Well, we know AE is 9, so 9 squared plus whatever EB squared is will give us 15 squared. Well, 9 squared is 81 plus EB squared. It's going to equal 15 squared, which is 225. Oh, that's too many twos. Holy cow. Subtract 81 from each side, and we get EB squared equals 144. To get rid of that square, we take the square root of each side, and we get EB is 12. Oh, that's a 13. That's 12. Holy moly. We want to know DB. So if EB is 12, DE is also 12. So DB is 24. Drawing on all sorts of prior knowledge there. You got to remember that Pythagorean theorem. So let's talk about what a square is. Square is a rhombus with 4 right angles. If we draw a little Venn diagram here, and we have rectangles over here and squares in the middle and all sorts of button moving here, sorry. Cooperate. And then we have rhombi on the right. Rectangles are going to always look like this. Rhombi are always going to be this kind of idea, or like a diamond. Did them in the wrong color. Let me fix it. It's going to bother me. Rhombi are going to look this way. Holy cow. Or like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond, people. Squares are both rectangles and rhombi. Right angles, diagonals, bisect a pair of opposite angles. Diagonals are perpendicular, but like rectangles, they have parallel sides and they make right angles at the corners. So the squares are the best of both worlds. Let's flip your paper over here and see what we know kind of algebraically about rhombi and squares. Determine whether ABCD is a triangle, a rhombus, or a rectangle. A rhombus or a square, list all that apply. All right, so let's draw our our figure. 0, 2 is point A. That's right here. 2, 4 is point B. Point C is at 4, 2. And D is at 2, 0. So we can't just look at it and say, oh, I know what it is. We have to prove it. Let's look at the slopes. Let's look at the slope of AB. That is 4 minus 2 over 2 minus 0, or 2 over 2. That's 1. Let's look at the slope opposite that of CD. That is 0 minus 2 over 2 minus 4. That's negative 2 over negative 4. Oh, over negative 2, also 1. Okay, about the slope of BC. That is 2 minus 4 over 4 minus 2. That's negative 2 over 2. That's negative 1. The slope of AD is 2 minus 0 over 0 minus 2. It's 2 over negative 2. That's negative 1. Those things where, these facts where opposite slopes are equivalent and the intersecting sides make a right angle because the slopes are opposite inverse, means that it is a rectangle. Affirmative. Now, let's look at the slope of AC. We'll have a diagonal here. That is a horizontal line, so that slope is 0. How about the slope of BD? That's a vertical line, so that's undefined. What that means is that the 0 is on the bottom. So this is a rhombus because the slopes of the diagonals make a right angle because they are perpendicular to each other. And finally, we know it's also a square. And we can tell that because the lengths of all the sides are the same. Let's try one more of these, and then we'll do a proof. We've got to make our figure here, -2, 1 for A, and -1, 3, and 3, 1, and 2, -1 for D. All right, let's do the slopes of opposite sides. The slope of AB is 3 minus 1 over -1 minus -2. That's 2 over 1 or 2. Let's do the slope of CD. That's -1 minus 1 over 2 minus 3. It's a -2 over -1, which is also 2. So those lines are parallel. Let's do the slope of BC. That is 1 minus 3 over 3 plus 1. It's 2 over 4. That's, -2 over 4, so that's -1/2. And the slope of AD is -1 minus 1 over 2 plus 2. So that's -2 over 4, or -1/2. So I'm going to scoot up and give myself a little bit more room. That means that it is a rectangle. Those sides are perpendicular, so they are rectangles. Now let's look at the diagonals. The slope of AC is 0 because it's a horizontal line. The slope of BD is 3 plus 1 over -1 minus 2. So that's 4 over -3. So -4/3. That means it's not a rhombus. Also, if it's not a rhombus, it's not a square. Because a square is both a rhombus and a rectangle. So this one is only a rectangle. Last but not least, let's fly through this proof here and see if we can make some sense of it. Well, maybe. There we go. We're given parallelogram ABCD. We're given AC is equal to DB, and the measure of angle AEB is equal to 90. So let's fill that out. Parallelogram ABCD, and AC is equal to DB, and AEB is 90. Those are all given facts. All right, we know that there's a right angle where the diagonals intersect, so we can say ABCD is a rectangle because the diagonals are congruent. It tells us so right here. AC is equal to BD. We also know that angle AEB is a right angle because that's the definition of a right angle, is 90 degrees. We know that AE is perpendicular to EB. This feels really self-explanatory, but We got to say it, right angles are perpendicular lines. We also know that ABCD is a rhombus because the diagonals are perpendicular. That's the definition of a rhombus. And last but certainly not least, we know that ABCD is a square because it's a rectangle and a rhombus. Rectangles and rhombi combine together to make squares. I hope this makes a little bit of sense. I hope you're feeling comfortable coming to me if you have any questions, and I hope to see you soon.